Welcome to Spurs Vision TV. Haven't seen
Good
you guys
evening,
in
good
some
afternoon,
time.
good morning.
Of course, good evening to all you guys in Asia. Good afternoon to you guys in Europe, and of course, good morning to you guys in the North Americas and South America, and of course, especially Canada, right? For our brother, Mr. Brian Daigle. Hopefully, he might be joining us later. And
And
Jamie,
Scott
thanks
M
for
and
yeah,
Udaveriosa.
yeah, and Jamie, thanks for the co-hosting with the rest of the guys taking over the shows for Sunday, right? And first of all, I would like to thank the Spurs family, okay, for all the love and support given to Bob and uh, letting him reach his target within 72 hours, right? This is what real family is, and what real family do for each other, right? Any words you want to add on, Jamie, before I
Um,
bring on the other guests?
just that our membership is increasing, in part thanks to
Ah,
my wife and her network. We're up to 212, I believe. So I've just put a
yeah,
note
yeah,
saying let's aim for 300 as the next target.
yeah, yeah.
But
And of course, I need
yes,
to yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, no, and just the general fact that we've come into a new week for the first time in a while with well, it was positive until I saw the COVID story. Yeah, so
Uh,
but because it
yeah,
was Brighton were without some of their major players, and that would be good for us. And then the next day, oh, Spurs have got a COVID problem, so everything's balanced again.
yeah,
Apparently,
yeah.
apparently, Son is one of the possible affected.
Okay. And of
So
course, I need to do a shout out to one of my daughter's YouTube friends. He's got his own channel called Tetsukun, right? But they're more into the anime kind of thing and all that, right? But it's a big shout
well,
out to
we got to at
Tetsukun.
some
Yeah,
point. I would love us to get Guguma. Guguma was
yeah, we got
very
Google.
very supportive on Sunday. We need to get her to be brave and make an appearance on Spurswation.
Yeah, one of these days we will. One of these days we will. All right,
Anyway,
guys.
I've been yabbering. Let's say hi to our wonderful family who are awaiting um,
And you're
us
still
to stop
yabbering.
talking.
All right.
Yeah, I'm still
Okay,
yabbering.
can I bring them on? Yep, yep. Stop yabbering.
Shut up, Jamie.
All right. Hi guys. I just had to do it, right? I just had to do it. If not, you guys won't be put on for some time. Come on, let me just move the boxes around. All right.
I talk like I ice skate. I need a brick wall to slam into to stop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Guys, Norwich. To me, I was saying like, it's Norwich. Yeah, Norwich. Yeah, no, Norwich.
Would you guys like to know an interesting fact about Norwich?
No.
Go
They
ahead.
make good mustard.
That's cool.
Commons. No,
Come on,
Go
Rhys.
please.
Come on, Rhys. No
Ah,
sulking allowed.
No,
I
it's
don't
fine.
think
It's
there are
fine.
any interesting facts about Norwich.
Well, actually, Norwich is a city that has 365 pubs and 52 churches. So you can drink in a different pub every day and pray for forgiveness in a different church every week.
I'm moving after Christmas.
that was probably by design.
Okay, all right. But guys, I mean, the past three matches we've won all of them. I'm happy about it. But then I look back, right? I mean, we played Leeds. We didn't get play Burnley, right? We played Leeds, Brentford, and Norwich. So wins were quite expected from the games. But I think Peter, a few. I mean, there's a big portion of fan base is getting overexcited. Don't you think? Or they should be overexcited.
No, just a regaining of some degree of confidence. Hopefully, with enough momentum not to be steamrolled against Liverpool.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Let me get the rest. What do you think, Rest?
Well, I mean, it's still early days. You know, it's been helpful for Conte to have some relatively easy matches in the beginning to rebuild some confidence. But there is, as I say, a long way to go. You know, we are going to be facing some sterner tests in the coming weeks. Brighton are no mugs. Leicester can pull, you know, real surprises. Liverpool are a tough proposition. You know, we will have a better idea of where we are right at this precise moment once we've played the and West Ham in the cup as well. You know, once we've played those guys, then we will have a better idea as to where we are and how much work we still need to do. It's good that we've got some points. Very happy about that. Celebrating the fact that we beat Brentford and Norwich and got those wins.
And we're above Arsenal.
And we're above Arsenal. So
Yay.
there are good things. You know, there are things to celebrate, but let's still knuckle down and not get too far ahead of ourselves yet.
Yep. And Ian, how do you feel?
Yeah, I agree with Rez. I think that we all know what it's like being a Spurs supporter. You look at your fixtures. You've got Leeds at home, Burnley away, Brentford at home, Norwich at home, and you think, there you go. That's an easy 12 points. And with Tottenham, what happens? You win 2, you lose 1, you draw 1, and you go, there's another 4 points gone down the drain.
Absolutely.
They are. I agree with Rez. These were good fixtures for Conte. I think particularly with the stuff we're going to go on to talk about shortly. The loss of the Burnley fixture. Now, I think some people were saying that was good. If I was on this show that Sunday afternoon when the game was called off, I think we're going to regret that because of the fixture pile up that we're inevitably going to suffer. I mean, I live in Glasgow, so I don't get to go as often as I'd like, but obviously more than some of you guys in Asia and North America. I thought we played okay against Brentford, and I think we played okay against Norwich. Norwich created an awful lot against us. At the beginning of the season, I thought Norwich's main problem was they don't have enough goals in them. I remember Pukki playing at Celtic. Not a bad player, but not a great one. Decent in the Championship, but not really he's not a player that's going to give you, 15 goals, 20 goals a season. And they've got no goals coming from the rest of the team. So they were always going to struggle and they were always going to let in goals. And if you don't score and you let in goals, well, you don't need to be a genius to know that's relegation form. So, but we won the games. The important thing is we won the games. There's progress. The defence is not looking too bad. Skip seems to be getting better with every game. Harry just, I think, needs a couple of goals. Son got a couple of goals over the last game. So there's a lot of positives to take. But this, as Rez says, let's not be silly about it. We're close to the top 4, but there's a lot of work to be done if we're going to get there and stay there.
Coover?
I'm going to disagree. I think let's get carried away. Let's just go absolutely mental. Delusion train, full on course.
We're going to win the league.
Quadruples on. Let's have it.
Yeah, the fair play league.
So none of this. Oh no, it was okay. No, bloody brilliant. Everybody's quaking in their boots, showing up those trophies. Bring them in. I can go now, can I? Yeah, see you later. We're just improving rapidly. You look at Ben Davis. He's transformed from a player everybody wanted to get rid of to suddenly, dare I say, he's becoming a cult hero now. The way he's getting forward into the opposition box, creating things. He's due goals now. I'm going to start putting little punts on him to score because he's getting in there at the meat end of things constantly. Dyer is now the kingpin in defence. We wouldn't have said that a few weeks ago, would we? Actually, even under Nuno, he was doing quite well. When he's missing from the team, we do not look the same anymore. He's a real linchpin. We've got the Reguilon seems to be recovering his form from when he first started with us. He's getting forward brilliantly, putting in a lot of great crosses. Lucas Moura now against Norwich, I thought he was lifting his head a lot more than he had been. He was more aware of what's happening around him. Played a lovely ball into Kane when Kane did the chip over the top that we'll say narrowly missed. It was quite a long way wide, but the chance was there. It was a good, well played pass. His goal was absolutely brilliant. could watch that again and again and not get tired of it. Sonny back in the goals. Skip playing brilliantly and getting better with every single game. Højbjerg's back on song. Literally, there's nothing to be disheartened about as far as I can say. People were saying our passing was a bit erratic, but I think it was a lot more inventive than it has been. If you looked at some of the little flicks and back heels that didn't come off, if they had come off, we would have been thinking, this is sensational football. Even the ones that, when they did come off, it just looked like something we'd been lacking for a long time. It's just confidence and belief going forward. And let's have some more of it. I mean, it literally feels to me like it takes COVID-19 to derail us now, because every other team's getting to it.
Funny enough, you mentioned that. Yeah. But we have to respect the fact that this was Norwich. If we had the same performance against Chelsea or Liverpool, then we could start putting out the flags. But this is Norwich. We've got to keep it here.
We're not going to see the true sort of Conte Spurs until next season. We're not going to see it.
Yeah.
We're going to see brief glimpses of it, I think.
Yeah.
Because I've said it. I said it last night. Essentially, where we are now is a team that's almost at the beginning of preseason.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll give you a theory on this after this.
Yeah.
Kim, how do you feel? I mean, 3 games, 3 wins in a row. Are you like Kuva? We're gonna win the league.
Kuva, have you got the YouTube on, the volume on? Because I can sound some kind of TV or radio background noise.
Shouldn't be.
Or is it Arthur and Kim's dishwasher?
I've got it as well. It went as soon as we went live on air. I got that sound. I didn't have it before.
Let me check the mute buttons.
YouTube on in the background somewhere.
Sounds like radio or TV chatter.
Can you hear it now? No.
Yep.
All right. Let me.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me put Kuva back on. Can you hear it now, Kuva?
Yeah, I can hear it. Okay.
Hear it, yeah.
Is there an echo? I think it's a delayed background echo.
It's not major, but I think.
No.
It does sound like
major.
someone's got their YouTube on and they've got the volume on.
Just carry on with it. Yeah. Just get Kim's view on this. 3 wins in a row.
Okay, sorry, Kim.
That's fine. Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. It's definitely the early days of the Conte effect, isn't it? You can see some players. I don't want to use the word transformed, but you can see the progress in certain players already.
Transforming.
They're transforming before our eyes. Oh, Jamie. So it's a beautiful thing. It's difficult not to get carried away with Conte because he is quite an inspirational figure, and I just hope that's rubbing off on the players, those that are willing to change and willing to embrace his methods, obviously. So I'm a very happy bunny, and I don't really have a lot more of interest to put other than what Ian and Cooper have already said, and Rez, of course.
And Arthur?
He's muted.
You're muted.
Unmute.
For all our home games, I thought the Norwich came out with all guns firing, and to be honest, they looked a bloody good side actually. But as has already been pointed out, there's no real firepower up front or from anywhere else. But they play some really, really, really nice tight football. And from my point of view, I thought, well, they're going to give us a really big game. But of course, as it panned out, it didn't. And the Mora goal was unbelievable. I've watched that.
Sensational.
I watched it ringside. I've seen it several times on TV. And every time I look at it, it gets better. The man is an ace, and he's just needed someone like Conte to start bringing the best out of him. And I think that's happening now. This is what we're witnessing. But let's not run away with it all. Excited as I might be at every Spurs win, I still know there's a long way to go. And I know for a fact from what I've already read and seen, we're looking at somewhere in the region of 10 players in and 10 players out come the transfer window in January.
Hopefully.
I don't know if anybody else has seen that,
Yeah.
but the problem we do have
Is that what Conte wants, or is that what
That's what's been
speculation says we're going to get?
that's what's being reported at the moment.
Brian Dagan did post a picture of a flying pig in response to that. So, you know.
yeah.
Good old
When
Brian.
pigs fly.
With
When
Levy's
pigs
face
fly.
on it.
Yeah.
But we'll see, and we'll know where we're going, I think, once the January transfer windows come to a close. Levy can't afford not to back Conte, otherwise he'll walk. We all know that. So coming back to the Norwich game, I thought it was a very sincere game by the Spurs players. Norwich came not to lay the white flag down, but to attack us. And we did very well indeed. We are a better side. He's bringing the best out of what we've got.
Yeah.
We've actually got belief now, which has been missing for such a long time.
Yeah.
We hope.
And the will to go out there and perform, do the business. Hey!
That's Iris.
Listen, guys.
Sorry to butt in.
Okay.
That's my wife. She's got on my Father Christmas suit.
I am saluting.
I usually do it every year for the kids.
Yeah, from the voice, from the voice, Mummy Christmas.
And I hope you all
Love
get
it.
what you want, and I hope Spurs get some trophies. Merry Christmas!
Hey. That's
W
just turned into a meme.
I'm mixing centre colours.
Yeah.
Let it not be said.
For some reason, I thought it was Bobby.
And then people say that people say that the shelf side Spurs show's mental.
Oh wow! See, look, Father Christmas is magic. He can teleport.
Let it not be said.
That's a funny shaped chimney.
I say, let it not be said we're not a fun family.
You're not a fun family. You're a crazy family.
Yeah.
But guys,
Gives you all a laugh, though, Jamie.
Yeah.
But before I come up with my theory why the team is performing like this now, just give a shout out to the guys in the chats, right?
Henri.
I didn't say Terry, I said theory. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Ricky. Right, Jens is in the chat.
Yeah.
Big up to Jens. Rest is here too. Johnny's here too. Hi, Johnny. Big up to Johnny. Right, and Mr. K. Mr. K. Big up to Mr. K. Right, who else is with us? Guguma. Big up to Guguma.
Hey.
Guguma. Jamie's been asking me, when will you be joining us live? All right.
Yeah, man.
Do a show. Yep. It would be wonderful to try, especially through Persuasion. Right. And of course, I need to give a big shout out to Chris. Chris is a Leicester fan, a big supporter in one of the other football groups that we have in Twitter. Right. And Vibuff, sadly to say, he's having his exams soon. Study hard, Vibuff, right? Listen, but concentrate on your work too. Right. And I think he knows Kuva. You know Chris? Do you know Chris? No. Oh, all right. Okay. Let me see who else. Mark Swift. Mark Swift is in here too. Thank you, Mark Swift. Yeah, Mark is one of my moderators. Wayne Bonner, the legend. Wayne Bonner is supporting. Yeah. Wayne.
Big up.
Big up Wayne. And my good brother, Alan. Alan is in. Yeah.
Big up Aaron.
Who else?
Alan.
Big up Alan. All right. Who else do we have?
All right.
All right. Alan. He's
Well,
Alan.
that's his name. That's actually his name.
His name is Alan. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. My tier is right. Conte is whipping them up. They're playing so well now, right? So their value can go up. So when their value can go up, right, he can convince Levy to sell them at the price that more or less that Levy wants or not. Okay. So it's all in the economics. When your players play well, okay, their value go up. That's it.
Yeah, but you
think about it.
That suggests that Nuno, Mourinho, and Pochettino deliberately played them badly to tank their value. I'm not sure.
No, I'm saying what Conte has done now, right? No,
if
that's
their
what I'm
value
saying.
goes up, won't we be expect more money for them? And so, his will rise in proportion with their value, surely.
I just don't think it's deliberate. I think it's just
No, I don't think it's deliberate. But I'm saying is that it's a positive outcome if they play well. If they play well, I mean, if Conte needs to change them, even if they're playing well, right? Then they will have. We will get more money for them. That's all.
We might get more money for them.
We might get more money for them. Right?
I think what it has to be, as I've said recently, it has to be a case of Levy understanding that the playing side of things is not an investment vehicle, right? So whatever the value of these players are, they should be sold if they are no longer to be Spurs players, right? Regardless of their value. Conte doesn't give a shit about that. Conte doesn't. All he wants is to win, right? He'll pick the players to get them to win, not to think. He's not playing that game. That's not in his DNA.
That's true.
If their value goes up, that's a consequential
Byproduct.
Byproduct, exactly. Screw that for me, as far as I'm concerned. Get them out if they're not going to play, right? Delhi gone, and Ndombele gone. Go. We don't want you. You're not good for us. And bring in players that are going to play for us.
I think the secret, Rez, we all know historically the January window is a difficult one. Clubs don't want to lose their good players; they want to lose their bad players. In fact, the ones that you're trying to punt out the door are the players we don't need.
We don't need exactly.
Jamie's put a couple of things on players that we're looking at. For example, Kessie being an absolute case in point. Now he would be, I think, a wonderful signing for the middle of our midfield. But will Milan? There now no European football after Christmas. Will Milan be prepared to let him go? And I'm not clicking on the link with the story, but it's saying PSG are ready to triple his wages. So that might be the kind of difficulty. These are unprecedented times. There are football clubs around Europe, big clubs around Europe, particularly in Italy, that are struggling financially, that may let players go at a time like this that they wouldn't normally. But there's still other clubs like PSG and other, oil-rich country supported clubs that might be able to outbid us, and that's going to be the difficulty, is getting those players in. I'm hoping that the Conte Paratici Italian link is going to be a big help, but we're only going to find out come January.
Yeah. And I forgot Chris Agomba too. Big shout out to him. He's in the chats too. Yeah, Chris, hope you're listening. And of course, Cody Mack, right? How's your beard going in winter?
It's probably just a bit of scruff now.
Yeah, no, I think it's growing quite well. I saw him the other day on We Are Tottenham TV.
It's like a newly planted forest with delicate seedlings spreading from the earth of Cody's chin.
What you basically say is he doesn't wash.
Rez, you're a poet as well.
Okay. I understand, guys, but I imagine like now that Ben Davies is performing, Eric Dyer is performing, right? All of a sudden they've like become so important to the team. But are they really that capable of maintaining that kind of standard consistently? That's what I'm trying to say. And if they can't, like in the other day, we've been trying to say is that will, let's say, the board or Levy give full control to Conte, right? On wanting what he wants to do. That is the biggest question down the line. Even now, let's say Conte turns around and says, yeah, I know Ben Davies has been playing so well in wherever position he's in, right? But now I want him gone. I want to bring his ex-player in to take his space. Will that happen or not? You see?
Conte's been speaking fairly politely and nicely about Ben Davies of late, so I'm not sure if he's on the chopping block.
No.
Oh, you never know. With Conte, you never know who's on the chopping block, who's not on the chopping block, right? He might have his plan. He's already filled out, what's been happening, right? And especially like I've been watching the Talk to K show, the previous one that I missed because I was asleep. Right? Yeah. And Mr. K did say that the Kane and Son relationship might have already broken down, right? And like for me, I've already said to a lot of you guys, not on the stream live, that I think Kane and Son are like when the first game that Kane came back to play after the MCT game, was it? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He only played
I
for a
think
short while. Yeah, he came in on sub or something, right? During Nuno's time. I was in the back room after the show with Brian. I told him I look at Kane. Kane looks checked out. But of course, there are a lot of factors there mentally, the stress and all that. But now there's another factor that's come in that, how could a relationship that clicked so well last year all of a sudden just turn around and become like that? Like they don't have an understanding anymore. So maybe some fallout, or some disagreement or unhappiness is going on between them. Right, that's one of the things that we're looking at. And of course, we have Scott, right? And Scott is a morosexual. Hi, Scott. He'll sure hop on when I say that. Scott is a morosexual. Yeah. Right. What does Scott say, sir? Can you read that for me?
Unfortunately, I agree. I don't think that Davis is on the chopping block, and I'm worried that Dyer might not be either.
Okay. All right.
That's the one
I'm not sure players should be on the chopping block if they're playing well. I mean, if a good coach can make if you look at someone like Mourinho, one of the reasons I would never have put Mourinho into my club is Mourinho never makes players better. You can name a player that Mourinho's improved. He just goes out and buys a better one if he's not happy.
No, he does.
Conte improves players.
Just to refine, he makes good players great, but he can't make average players good.
Well,
that's what because he does. I mean, look at not Alonso. What was his name? Carvalho, for instance. Deco, people like that at Porto. If they've got the potential and they're already at a relatively high level, he can get a bit more out of them and make them great. But he can't make your journeyman players good.
Good players.
That's the thing you can't do.
Yeah. Arthur, you were trying to say something?
But I agree.
Yeah, it's just one point. I don't know if anybody's seen the news, but Rodon wants to leave. Either go out on loan or he wants to leave. And I think he's leaning towards leaving because he thinks he's not getting enough playing time. And I think he's quite right.
You can't blame him.
We should try him out properly. He's only had a handful of games.
Yeah.
And let me answer Guguma's question. Very, very sorry, Guguma. Where did my thing go to? Guys, I was trying to answer Guguma's question. Who changed it?
What about the Instagram?
Oh, about the Instagram. All right, Guguma. Sorry to let you know, right? Spurs Vision TV doesn't have an Instagram account. Oh dear, we're so lazy.
Now's the time.
If we did, it'll probably be like pictures of food.
And food and Jamie. Yeah, sorry, Guguma. I don't have an Instagram account, but we do have Discord though, Guguma. Give me your Discord. I'll reach out to you. All right. Give me your Discord. All right. Sorry for that. And of course, we were talking about Rodon just now, right? So, okay. Sorry to say, Rodon came in during the period of Mourinho. He was not Mourinho's first choice. When he came in more or less in the end of Mourinho's tenure, he did perform a bit. But then after that, after Ryan Mason, Nuno, and now Conte, and he's not even in part of the looking of it. So I don't know if he wants to leave. Let him have his, he's a young guy. He needs to play.
I don't know if you guys saw. Did you guys see that Conte turned around and said that Rodon is essentially the sort of the backup to the central of the three centre defenders? Yeah, which at the moment is Dyer. So I think Conte will play him, but he probably thinks that Dyer is better than him at the moment. And that's his thing. Now, Rodon, I can really, really understand his frustration because when we were playing so badly at the back, when our defense was just paper thin, the times that he came on and the times that he played for us, he was really good. He sort of helped that defense. So I can understand why there's rumors that he turned around and was essentially saying, why the hell am I not playing when you've got central defenders who are screwing up so badly so often during Mourinho's time? And then Mason didn't play him, and then Nuno didn't play him, and I can understand his frustration if that's the case, because there's a good defender in there.
Yeah.
But guys, I have sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Go on.
Yeah. Did you also see that we are in the throes of, or have just signed Charlie Sayers from Southend. He's a fullback, a right back, and
Yeah,
very good
just
prospect
post it.
apparently.
Just
It's only
posted that in the private
17.
chat.
Oh, okay. All right.
But he's
So
probably going to
maybe,
get time in the under 23s first.
But
Yeah.
to tell the truth, right, our youth never actually reached the top. Not many of our youth reached the top.
I've not seen that.
But yeah,
Apart from Skip,
but,
Look in the
apart from
private
Skip
chat, Ian.
and
Kane.
Skip and Kane, just two, and out of how many years, rest, you know?
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that for Rodon, right? Sorry, that's not my question. Why isn't Romero playing center or center back? That is my main
Because
question.
he's injured.
No, I mean before that, before when he came back, he played on the left.
Because he plays on the right. He is a marauding centre back. He will run with the ball and he'll move the ball forward. You want your central defender to be
stay
at
back.
the back, almost like the sweeper, the linchpin, exactly. Whereas your two either side. That's why Ben Davis plays on the left, because he has played fullback and centre back, so he has that experience of being able to run forward with the ball and arrive in the box late. For set pieces, for sort of when the ball is getting towards the thing. So Dyer's at the back, his pace doesn't require him to run forward. He's the linchpin, and the other two are fast enough to relatively to sort of be able to sweep back and forth.
Which is why in the last couple of games, Davis was getting much further forward and Sanchez and Dyer were holding. And Davis looked better for that. Fun enough, particularly with Sessegnon alongside him on Sunday. But that Rez's analysis is absolutely spot on with that. I think with the system, one of the central defenders will always go. Will always go on, and that will leave two central defenders and one of the holding midfield players behind, where the two wing backs and one of the central midfield players, Skip or Højbjerg, will go on. More often Skip, but if Højbjerg goes, Skip sits and what have you. And if you're not at the games, it's not something you'll pick up. But we left when we had corners, we left one man back defending, and that was Ollie Skip. Everybody else was attacking was in the in and around the penalty area. We nearly got caught out with it twice with long balls, but that was another story.
But guys,
news, it's just the latest news on Romero is he'll be out till February.
Wow, that's a long time.
But that could be partially injury and partially.
Hi, Bobby.
On,
Hey, Bobby.
Hope you're bearing up.
Yep. Big up, Bob.
But
Big up.
I think the February date might partially be including the Paratici Juventus financial debacle. Once the smoke clears, whether it's safe to proceed or whether somehow it's going to be dragged into the mire by things that are beyond his control.
Yeah, but what I'm seeing now that we are comparing all these defenders, right, against teams that are not actually up to out. They are attacking. Their attacking movement and all that is not up to the standards of talking about like a West Ham or a Chelsea or a Liverpool or a Manchester United, right? So the next few games that comes along, I think a lot of things will be revealed to Conte. That's how I see it. If we face a formidable attacking team,
I think he already knows.
I see it. Yeah,
I think he already knows.
Yeah. So that is how I see it. And when the time comes, it's just the right time when January window comes around. So maybe he'll make his decision there. Right. And for Guguma, how do I get my email to you? Then maybe you can send me an email. Yeah, we can communicate through email. Yeah. And Discord, she says that she's only on Will THFC Rennes. That means she does have a Discord number. So if Guguma, you can just give me your Discord number, then maybe we can reach out to you. Right? Guys, any more things that you would like to talk about that happened on game week 15, right? If I'm not mistaken. Any other matches that stood out?
Yeah, basically every match apart from the Man United match, which was a damp squib, and yet Sky and all them and the BBC and everything treated it as if it was like the most monumental match in the history of the Premier League.
Yeah.
That's what
they did. Well, we know who's rearing their licking.
Yeah. Ooh, Ralph Rangnick's first game. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. And a 1-0.
Anyone that has fiber in the diet.
Yeah.
That's true. But guys, the next match coming up, we're playing Rennes at home. With the current situation, right? The implications of what's happening, and there was an earlier message now that says that even Skip has tested positive.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Is it confirmed?
I haven't seen it, but I did. The last confirmation, and this was this morning, was that 7 of them had caught COVID.
It's now 8. Just as you just break
it's
in,
definitely
it's
8, is it?
Yeah, Matt Law tweeted. Conte says 8 players and 5 members of staff have tested positive. The problem is every day we have more people with COVID. That's within the last few minutes. Conte's actually giving a press conference at the moment, so I'll keep my eyes on Twitter for that being reported by Spurs Express. But eight players at the moment.
8 players, 5 staff, coaching staff. My gosh, that's bad.
Yeah, we're playing tomorrow, so I reckon the game will get called off.
No, I think under
at the weekend
rules,
they said it was still going to go ahead.
No, under UEFA rules is that if you can put out 13 viable players or something like that, you still
including one goalkeeper.
Including one goalkeeper.
Gaguma, sorry, just looking at the screen here. Eugene, Skip 2. I understand that Skip is the latest player today. Just as people were saying, if you can raise 13 players in your squad, including a goalkeeper, then the game will take place, and I think tomorrow will go ahead
from the A-list squad.
I gather from the A-list. I gather that we're going to apply for the Brighton game to be called off, and that makes total sense. But I would anticipate that tomorrow we will play, and if we get beat, we get beat. So be it.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think you're right, Ian. And the issue is with regard any potential postponement of tomorrow's game. UEFA have also said that even if you do postpone, the group stages have to be done by the 31st of December.
Yeah.
Regardless.
We'll be playing Christmas Day.
Where we're going to put the game in.
Yeah. So let's play it, and whatever will be, will be.
Will be. Yeah.
Pleasure.
Don't go Doris Day on us.
That's the thing.
Okay.
The list of the names of the players that have been affected. Do we have it?
I know that Romero, Skip, Heung-min Son, Ben Davis. Those are 4 that I know for certain. I know that Ryan Mason on the staff, Christian Stellini on the staff. Those are the 6 that I can say for certain have been reported as. There was a 4th. There was someone else. Lucas Moura, another one as well.
Yeah. Hoover, you have the list?
No, I haven't got the list. I was just going to something I wanted clarified for myself as well. Really, when you say it's 13 players from the A list, I mean in the Premier League, isn't it a squad of 25? But UEFA, it's a squad of 22, something along those lines.
I think so. Yeah.
Which would make it more likely we could sort of fail the conditions for the UEFA list.
Doesn't the A-list comply, though? An A-list is a separate backup squad of your sort of development players. I might be wrong on that, but I thought the A-list. I'll go and Google this. Well, I thought the A-list was a separate.
The under 20s. And the under 20s are not counted in the A-list, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right, something like that.
Surely the A-list would be the squad you've submitted for the competition.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought it might be.
Okay, from the Guardian, says Spurs in talks with Premier League over Brighton game after COVID.
Right.
So it looks like it's obviously affecting enough of our first choice to make the next couple of games questionable.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's say, right, we do play on Thursday. What kind of team can we put out? Right.
Similar to Moura.
I think Reggie's injured. if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah,
And then you
but
take out
that's
those who are,
Eugene. That's not as bad as we first thought. Thank goodness. It looks like they said they were hoping he would be back in time for the Brighton game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunday.
That would be a good news for him. But on a Thursday game, I'm sure Reggie won't be there.
He tweeted himself, "Don't take me out of your fantasy football teams. I'll be back soon."
Okay.
I'll be back.
And would someone just read this out from Bob?
Conte, we had 11 players available for the match, and by the end of the training session today, one of the players who would start tomorrow is now positive. It's scary. We're all having contact.
Okay, the Evening Standards 2 hours ago said the predicted 11 would be Galini, Tanganga, Rodon, Sanchez, Doherty, Winks, Højbjerg, Reguilon, Bergwijn, Dele, and Kane. And that's against Rennes.
Cody.
Yeah. We've been saying it. Why can't we have nice things? Why can't we have nice things?
Yeah.
I mean,
so that means
if it's of any help here, I've managed to find our squad online for so I don't know what the A is, I don't know, but our squad, I'll just quickly go through this. I mean, Lloris, Galini, Austin as the goalkeepers, Doherty, Reguilon, Romero, Sanchez, Emerson, Rodon, Dyer, Sessegnon, it's even saying he's suspended, Tanganga, Davis, Fagan, Walcott, Omoli, Casey, Brooklyn Lions, Foster, Højbjerg, Son, Winks, Gil, Lo Celso, Ali, Bergwijn, Moura, Ndombele, Skip, White, Noel John, Jack Clark, Matthew Craig. I've got two Matthew Craigs here. Dillian Markandi, Kane Scarlett, and Romain Mundle. So, I mean, from that list of players, I think we can probably find 13.
I guess we have to.
But a lot of those players are under 20, aren't they? How many of those are under 20?
I think about 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Because the Craig twins.
Odd one, isn't it? It's an odd one. What constitutes the A list?
Yeah, and just one thing. I think Johnny means decimated, not desecrated. And Ndombele can't even get into a team desecrated by a virus. Decimated, Johnny. Decimated.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think, Raz, what you're talking about,
it's worse than decimated, because decimated actually means reduced by a 10th. We've lost more than a 10th.
Yeah, it's desecrated. Is it?
No, it's not desecrated. That means to make unholy.
Well, that is a squad issue anyway. When you look at
exactly. We have an unholy squad already.
But by this time tomorrow, who knows how many more?
Yes.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. I know it'll go around. But the thing is that I think if they do daily testing, right, they hopefully they can find a few of them who are false negative, or false positive, right? And maybe the squad will build up again.
I think
Eugene,
they do.
Eugene, I think they've been doing PCR testing, not the lateral flow, which means the PCR is more exact.
More accurate,
Arthur, I thought they did lateral flow. The daily one they do is lateral flow, and now that they've found some evidence, they're onto PCR. Is that the
That's
case?
right, Rez. I think that's right.
Right.
I think if you have a positive, they do the lateral flows as a matter of course. But if you get a positive lateral flow, then you go on to the PCR.
Right.
Yeah.
To confirm it. Yeah.
I think is that what happened? Is that what happened with Sonny before the Everton game? He had the lateral flow and found positive, and then they did the PCR test and found it was negative. Is that what happened?
I think that's right.
The PCR. There she is.
Santa Claus is a woman. Oh no!
Hold on.
And a lovely one too.
Yes. Coming back to that means that more or less we'll be sending out our B team again. And whenever we send our B team, what happens, right?
I mean, yeah. Look, I mean, I'm not happy about. I mean, I'm not happy about anyone becoming ill. That's not
of course.
never celebrate that.
Definitely,
But the one thing I'll say is that I'm relatively sanguine about the outcomes that means for Spurs, because seriously, if there is a transition season for Spurs, it's this one. It's this one. So, let's not worry about what we're going to win, where we're going to end up. It's all building the foundation first. And really, the most important thing is...
Hello, Mrs. Arthur from Gaguma.
Oh, hello, Jess. Hello, tell her hello.
She's lovely.
There's another aspect to this, and I think you do have to start looking at the big picture rather than just what's going to happen at 8 o'clock tomorrow. We've already got the Burnley game to play. If we were to win tomorrow, we'll have 2 playoff games against what might be a good side. It might be a Celtic or a Dortmund or whatever to squeeze in February. We are likely, almost certainly now going to ask for the Brighton game to be postponed, because that's a different kettle of fish, and probably the Liverpool game next Thursday. So all of a sudden, you could be looking at having to find time in the diary for 5 more games. So, if we got beat, I think I've got some
Sorry about this
noise in the background. Yeah.
It's a cappuccino machine.
Is that Santa? I thought she was squeezing down that bloody chimney again. So I think there has to be the big picture here is, look, let's put out all the kids tomorrow. Let's hopefully not win the game. Let's go out, and that takes another 2 games that we don't have to play off at the. Conte you're pointing at the screen. Hi, Bobby. Conte visibly upset by the situation at Spurs and ends his conference after 10 minutes. It seems clear that the right thing to do is forfeit tomorrow's match, close the ground and phone everybody home. Well, that may be, and that's one for the doctors. And if we have to forfeit, there's no way in the world we can play this by the 31st of December. It's just not going to happen. There's no way in a busy English calendar. I mean, some of the leagues across Europe are starting to close now, so they could squeeze time in. We go into the busiest period of the English calendar. So, if we have to forfeit, I'll watch Coronation Street tomorrow or whatever. It's not a big. I'm being facetious. It's not a big deal. If it was a Champions League and we were going out the Champions League, it would be a big deal. This isn't. If we have to do what's right, and we have to look at the big picture of what's in the longer term interest of the club.
It's the health of the players that comes first.
And the players. Yeah. Well, sorry, as soon as I said that, Arthur, that was as soon as I thought, hang on, let's think. You're right. Spot on. Absolutely right.
Not only the health of the players. It's also the health of the fans. You get what I'm saying?
And the staff. Because
everybody who's in the stadium.
Already. It looks like it's going to sweep through the club at this rate.
It really is the worst possible timing for us, isn't it? Because if it happens, say, after January and we've got some more players in, we might be able to absorb those sort of losses. But as it stands, we've got no chance. I would have liked to have said, well, perhaps we could just put out a weakened team with development players in. But I mean, half of those are out as well. So it's just massive. That figure, the amount of people potentially missing, it's just too big to ignore. I think Bob's probably got a point.
I don't know whether it's the same story, but in the One Football from about 10 minutes ago, Antonio Conte has confirmed 8 Tottenham Hotspur players and 5 members of staff have tested positive for COVID-19 ahead of Thursday's Conference League clash with Rennes. 8 players and 5 members of staff, but the problem is that every day we're having people with COVID. People yesterday weren't positive and today are, and we're continuing to have a contact with. It's a serious problem. Conte told reporters in his pre-match press conference on Wednesday. Today, another player and another member of staff positive. Tomorrow, who? Me? Another member of staff? I want to speak about football. This is not a good thing for you, the fans and the staff. Everyone is a bit scared. We all have families. I ask why. Why yesterday we trained and 2 positives. Today we trained and after another 2 positives. Who next? It's not right. We're going home to our families. We had 11 players available for the match, and by the end of training session today, one of the players who will start tomorrow is now positive. It's scary. We're all having contact. Under UEFA regulations, if Spurs have 13 available players, including a goalkeeper and 25-man A-list, they must fulfill the Rennes a fixture, which they need to win to stand a chance of the final 32 for the conference. This game could be postponed if they do not have sufficient player numbers, but all group matches must be completed by the 31st of December.
To be honest, all of this really is an indictment of the football authorities.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Wider and all the way up to FIFA, and I know this is a bit of a hobby horse for me, but all the way up to FIFA and the awarding of Qatar, the World Cup, right? They knew when they awarded it that it would never be played in the summer, and then when lockdown struck, they knew that this would be the effect. They knew what the effect of all these internationals would be. They knew that the possibility of game postponements, of games being called off, of players coming down sick and not being able to play was a possibility. And they went ahead anyway. Okay? This is the sickness, or one of the sicknesses at the heart of football. UEFA and FIFA.
Ironic choice of words.
You know?
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Right.
That is the problem.
Nicely pointed out, Rez.
Yeah, but there were already matches in Germany this weekend that were placed behind closed doors, right? They already started it. See, so but now the problem is spreading within the players themselves, and if it spreads like that, especially Spurs, we're being affected that badly. What about the other teams?
Oh, they will get it too. They will get it too. There will be people who already have it. They just haven't. The virus hasn't grown inside their bodies yet for them to be detectable. It's happened. Yeah, this is going to spread again, like COVID does, like a virus does. It's fine. Where do we get the word?
It's just a virus.
We use the word viral because that's what it is. You know,
it spreads. It spreads like crazy.
You know, it'll spread and then it will die down again. Right. But the point here is that, again, because of their lethargy, because of their greed, because of their treating human beings, and they might be pampered, they might be well paid, whatever, but they're still human beings, treating them as commodities for their own benefit and not actually looking after the welfare of both fans and players. Right?
That's true.
Because they sit insulated in their ivory towers, and I know I'm using a cliche, but yes, they sit isolated in their ivory towers with no connection to those that actually matter most when it comes to football, which is the fans first and the players second.
Yeah, heads in the sand until it directly affects them.
Yeah. Okay. So this is why disinvestment is a good plan. Don't watch the World Cup. Don't buy, UEFA tournament tickets. Don't spend in stadia. Don't cut off the thing that they are desperate for, that they would die for, which is their money. Don't buy, the brands that sponsor them. Put pressure on them. That's the only way they'll change. Because otherwise they will treat us, the fans, as commodities, and the players as commodities, and everyone that isn't them as commodities.
Yeah, that's true. But like I said, no matter how, if the game gets postponed tomorrow, or whether we forfeit it, right, then of course postponement will mean that we'll have a fixture congestion by end of this year. If we forfeit it, that means we're out of the European Conference League. That's it, right? But I think a lot of the fan base would rather say, we don't mind being out of it, right? So it might be acceptable, okay? But I guess we have to focus forward then. And if that carries forward, right, if every day you get 2 or 3 players testing positive, because this will continue, like what Rez says, right? It's something it's hidden. You don't get it straight away, or you're carrying it, you don't manifest it. The virus hasn't, you can't test it yet in your system. By the time you test it, it's like 3 days later that person has already mingled with another 3 person. Then you have that what call multiple effect that goes on. And like what Jamie read just now, what Conte is saying is that whatever you're doing now is not correct, because if you're already positive in your workplace, right, and you're still going to work, the chances of you bringing it back home is so high. Why take that risk? Right? Why take that risk? But what Rez is saying is very true. All this problem is because of FIFA, UEFA, they congested everything because the games had to go on because of money, right? So that's what the players are what I call stuck in that situation, right? And I'd like to say a big shout out to Derek. Big up Derek Hutchinson, another good supporter of the channel, right? Derek, we were just talking about the implications of the current situation our club is facing. And most probably by Sunday, when Sunday comes along, I don't think we might even have 3 players fit to play.
Watch the whole league season. I predict it's
going to go into chaos.
It's going to descend into chaos over the Christmas period. We're just the first. We're just the first. What? There is no possibility. There's really no possibility that this is going to be confined to Spurs. Other clubs are going to do it as well, and it's going to start causing fixture problems.
Arthur?
Yeah, I was just thinking, in actual fact, if this continues on its upward trajectory or downward trajectory, depends which way you want to look at it, we could end up extending the season to finish the games.
Yeah.
But
it really could be.
If you extend but if you extend the season, right, you're putting more pressure on the players in the starting of the new season. Then after that, you go and play the World Cup again. My God, will these players?
And the next season starts earlier as well.
Yeah,
less of a break.
Oh dear.
This is why I say it's not just, it's the whole of the football governance structure that is at fault here, because they knew that this was a possibility and they went ahead anyway.
That's true. But no matter what happens, we can't tell what's going to happen tomorrow. Whether the game is going to be called off, for all you know, it might be called off within the next few hours if the players keep testing positive like that. So even though we can't tell that, but we still have to more or less be prepared for the game to the game to be played, right? So I guess Conte will have a lot of things to do. And my question, like what Conte was saying, what if I become positive too? Who's going to be the manager, right? Who's going to hold the training, right? I went in with 11 players in training. I turned up with 10. One is positive, right? What happens is tomorrow I go out with another 11, right? I come back with another 2. So every time he adds people into the squad, I don't think it's going to be good, right? But this is like what Rez says, right? This is up to the governmental bodies and, of course, the Football Association to make the decision what they're going to do, right? But with money in play, right, and broadcasting money in play, that's where the big money is, right? Is there another breach of contract coming out, right? Money's been paid, yeah. So
what they should. Sorry, I'm gonna let Cooper speak because he's been.
Oh, sorry. I was going to sort of reinforce what he started, Rez. At the moment, with the pandemic in place, shouldn't we be looking at just cancelling all international football? It's absolutely crazy at the moment. It's putting extra pressure on players, quarantines, and players going backwards and forwards. It's such a needless exertion on the whole system already. We're already looking at the possibility. Let's face it, everybody's thinking there's possibly a lockdown coming again, isn't there?
Absolutely.
We could be looking at another sort of 6-week complete break from football again. When you got World Cup and just pointless, friendly internationals and things, we're just not going to fit it all in. Let all the domestic leagues sort of catch up with the hit they're going to take.
I think things were slowly getting better, and then we had Omicron, and then everything's just hit the fan again.
I think most of us realise we're a long way from.
But they talked about the possibility of a new variant months ago. What they should have done, what should have happened this season, and it's an extreme thing to do. What they should have done across all leagues, cancel all their cup competitions and just keep it as a league system with spread out games, right? With at least a minimum of 7 days between each game, right?
But Rez,
no internationals.
They don't want to lose the money.
I know, absolutely.
As well as I do. Yeah. It's greed.
Yeah.
Capital letters.
And it just shows it off because a rational person, a reasonable person can find a solution that is basically in the interests of those who are at risk.
Yes.
And so instead we are led by people who will willingly, happily, with gusto, put those risks aside and sacrifice human beings for their own benefit.
And let's face it, we're not dealing with something that makes you very ill. It kills you if you're not careful. It's a wicked, wicked virus. Really, really bad news.
Yeah. But whatever happens, like I said earlier, to look after yourself during this pandemic is that you have to look after yourself. Follow the SOPs and the hand sanitizers, the mask, and all that. But no matter how certain times you want that kind of freedom and all that, but sometimes that kind of freedom you have to forsake it for the better good. But especially when you play contact sports and all that, you can't avoid it. And usually I think this group of players, they should be isolated on their own. They shouldn't be mixing around in public, you see. But I don't understand what's the SOPs in the UK. Right?
Too late.
So
it's too late. The problem is that you can't detect the virus before
immediately
you're infected.
Yeah.
And so, the only way to stop the spread of a virus is for every single person to isolate completely for a period of 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Just
and those that become sick, and those that don't become sick survive. Right?
Yeah.
Who wants that kind of harsh reality? Nobody. There's no way of stopping it.
Rez, just as an example of how I've taken this situation so seriously, I shut my offices on the 16th of March 2020. I have not opened them since. Right?
Yeah.
Now this new variant has come out, Omicron. I'm saying, well, I'm paying rent still, but I'm frightened to bring my staff back into those offices.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can do it and I'm a small business, what about bloody Spurs? They should be better off at sorting this out.
They were taking furloughs aplenty and then putting their players in danger, allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Yeah. No, but I think like how we say Rez says that in the day and we all have the same sentiment. It's all about the money, right? When the money is in front of you, you will chase after it. So sacrifices will be made, and these are the consequences of that sacrifice. That's all, right? Now is that it's already happening, right? What is the the action is going to be taken to try to prevent this from spreading? That's the simple question.
Are you talking about what action should be taken, or what action is likely to be taken?
Should be taken, and most probably likely will be taken. I know, right? And most likely won't be taken. The should be won't be taken, right? But the games, I guess, they will have to go on with the contractual commitments and all that. But how they're going to delay it and how they're going to squeeze it in?
Unfortunately, the viruses are pretty much like the way that most big clubs run their business, unless the head honchos are getting directly affected. It's not a problem that they're really going to address to the degree that is necessary. So the health of the planet is a good imitation of the health of the structure of most professional sports teams. Unless the top brass get affected, well, let's keep pushing forward, and they're obviously going to have to do some kind of due diligence and whatever. But when it comes down to the crunch, they're still going to try and eke things out if they can.
Of course.
No, but the thing is that, like what Rez says now, is very simple. Shut the leagues down for 2 weeks, separate the people, and then after the 2 weeks, see what you have in your balance and restart the league again. But if you shut the league down for 2 weeks, right, that means you will have 4 games missing that you have to recover, and that will put more congestion onto the league further down the way. Right? Unless they extend the league again, then the players won't get proper rest for 2 years, 2 seasons. right? And then the World Cup is coming up.
Is there the possibility that add on to that 2-week break that the countries that are most adversely affected with COVID may have to sanction their teams from participating in the World Cup?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
For all you know,
have
in
to
the end of the
drop
day,
out.
right? No, not drop out. In the end of the day, you find South Korea win the World Cup.
So what?
Well,
Yeah,
Google might be
that's
happy.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it. South Korea
Yeah.
win the World Cup.
Ah.
Yeah.
You know,
Because for all you know, the way
Son lifts the World Cup, that'd be lovely to see.
yeah, Human lifts the World Cup, that'd be lovely to see. Yeah, but I'm saying, because a lot of the European governments, they how come? It's quite hard for them to impose a lot of rules and regulations onto their citizens. Not like in Asia, you know, we Asians are very obedient, right? When the government says do this, you do this. When the government says do that, we will do that. Most of the time, not all the time, right?
Sorry, I
What was
followed
that?
through. I was meant to be doing a hand slap, but it followed through, and I just whacked the desk.
Ow.
Oh, that hurt.
Ouch.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. But coming back again.
Lack of spatial awareness.
Yeah. But guys, you know, in this type of situation, I believe that some kind of action has to be taken before it gets really, really bad, right? This is just happening to us now. And of course, a lot of other clubs will encounter this problem. If it can happen to Spurs, it can happen to any club. That's all, right? So, and it usually happens to us, and we'll get the brunt of it, right? Then by the time it happens to other clubs, right, then they will change the rules, they'll tweak it a bit, then, you know, we always get the brunt of it, right?
But we know we don't actually know the whole picture with the other clubs. I mean, maybe they're keeping their powder dry, and the teams that the biggest teams are able to mix and match and make it seem as if everything's carrying on as normal.
Maybe, right? But doesn't it show that our club doesn't have tighter SOPs for their players, or are they just letting them run loose around town?
It's not determined by the club. It's determined by the league how you test and check with your players. It's nothing to do with the club.
And you can't blame the club for that.
Yeah, we just got unfortunate that it was our club that got hit first. It really was just luck of the draw.
Every individual player should be making sure he's not mixing with potentially sick people.
Oh, but the problem is that
we should never play Arsenal again then.
Or West Ham.
I mean, I mentioned this earlier. We have absolutely no idea where this outbreak has come from, but we know that last Thursday we played Brentford, and we know that on Friday, I think Ivan Toney tested positive, who played for Brentford. That doesn't mean he was the source of it, but if he was the source of it, because we haven't heard any other cases at Brentford, but if he was the source of it, you know, there's not a lot you can do, and that would spread into the players who would be incubating it for a few days while they were in contact with other players. It might be interesting to see, for example, if more Brentford or Norwich players come down with it over the next few days. Yeah. But I mean, no one goes out and infects anybody with this. I mean, it is this wretched virus. I mean, the only thing I'll say is maybe something for later in the discussion, maybe not for this place, that this this new variant does not appear to be a particularly bad one in the sense that it isn't hospitalizing and it isn't killing people.
But it's easier to spread.
It's more infectious. That's the difference. The thing, yeah.
Except that, but the flu is infectious and what have you.
It's a virus. You've got infection rates and then you've got mortality rate. So its mortality rate is probably lower than the original, but its infection rate is higher. So it spreads quicker, but it doesn't do as much damage.
And also at the same time that the protocol would mean that it doesn't matter whether it's ineffectual but highly virulent, or it's less easily spread but more harmful and deadly, the protocol will still be the same. So even if they end up with the case of the sniffles for a few days, they're still going to be out of the squad.
Yeah, that's what I'm driving at. This may not be a subject for this particular show, but it's, you know, if this one people are getting it and people are dying or they're infecting relatives who are dying, you know, we're back to closing stadia and total lockdowns. I mean, good God, if you know, I know some of you obviously are not in the UK here, but even Theresa May, you know, timid Theresa was having a go at Boris yesterday over the fact that he's looking to shut things down, where she's saying, look, this isn't doing anywhere near the kind of damage in terms of overwhelming the NHS or taking the lives of reasonably healthy people. At some point we're going to have to get on and live with whatever this is. And if the you know, viruses, I'm not a scientist, but you know, viruses are clever. They are able to mutate to save themselves. If they mutate into a
milder version.
A milder version. So be it. We just have to get on with our lives.
COVID or Levy?
COVID itself is just a version of, or is a type of coronavirus. And humans have lived with coronaviruses for millennia. Whenever we catch a common cold, there is a chance that that's just a coronavirus. And so COVID just happened to be a particularly deadly version that had the right infection rate that it made it difficult to stop. With the variant of Omicron, you know, the fact that it's the mortality rate may be lower, the infection rate may be higher. That's, as you say, Ian, it's the virus adapting to the measures that we have put in place. Flu, for instance, you know, the flu we've lived with for countless years. In 1918, we had a particularly virulent variant
Spanish
of it
influenza.
that killed a lot of people.
Spanish flu, wasn't it?
Spanish flu.
But then since then, flu has still been with us, and we don't, you know, we do individual lockdowns. You know, when
from pandemic to endemic.
Yeah, we don't mix with people. You know, we stay in bed, we drink lots of fluid, we deal with it ourselves. It is essentially, as you say, Ian, it's about learning to live with a different coronavirus. And to be honest, I think that what will happen is that we'll get these little spikes of variants of COVID, but eventually it will flatten out, because again, with the Spanish flu in 1920, they had a spike of flu again, but it wasn't as bad as 1918, and then it will pan out. But while we're in this situation, when you've got, you know, we've really got to put money as a low priority. It's
that's how I understand.
You know,
big up John Fitzpatrick, right? Big up to him.
John.
And what Google must say is very correct, right? For you guys have been open for some time. For us in Asia, right, we are just opening up now. You see, after all this time, the economy has just been opening up again. You know, everything's getting back into gear. You guys started during the Euros, you see. So that's how it goes. But like what has been happening, like you find out the Omicron is less less potent and milder, then we'll have to live with it. We'll have to find a way.
Until recently in the Philippines, we had to wear face shields. They took that away, saying that possibly was actually circulating worse than just masks. But then Omicron hit, so now even if they've said that scientifically it isn't actually helpful to have the face shield, they might be putting the face shields back again. We've had varying degrees of shutdown. Lockdown. At the moment, we're on some granular lockdown. So one neighborhood will be on lockdown, another neighborhood won't be because of the number of cases. But the type of government we have, they will go into total lockdown.
Yep. And just to ask Jens, Holland is already in lockdown, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Is the Netherlands in lockdown? Yes, I think it is. And Austria went into lockdown. And Germany, I think you pointed out earlier, the games in Germany have been behind the game in, was it in Leipzig as well? Yesterday was behind closed doors.
Oh, was it?
As I say, There was the comment earlier about the from Goguma, if I pronounced that right. That's interesting. In hearing in Korea, we started with living with COVID strategy, and we've got a big spike. My phone has just, my iPad has just flashed up with UK Omicron COVID cases rise sharply again as 131 new infections are identified. As I say, look, this may be not for this show, but I have a view. This is something we may just have to start living with. If it's not hospitalising people,
we use the term the new normal.
Well, okay, yeah, the new normal. If people aren't being hospitalised and people aren't dying, then let's just get on with it. Yeah, that's my view.
And all it is, a week and a half ago, I got called in for my booster. So on the left side, I had the flu jab. On the right side, I ended up with the booster. So that's what's going to happen every year, I think. We're going to get a jab for both.
We'll have to start calling you pincushion.
Yes, Kuva, go ahead.
I think, not to be alarmist, but we also have to prepare ourselves for the fact that this might be the mild version of this virus. It could get an awful lot worse. And if we're not getting things right now, we're not going to be prepared for when it gets worse. The sport really needs to lead the way on this. The authorities have to show this is how we deal with things. And
we've got for the UK government one. Again, Boris Johnson Plan B announcement will have a huge implications for Chelsea, Arsenal and Spurs. Vaccine passports for large events are expected to be part of Prime Minister Boris Johnson's announcement for Plan B restrictions this afternoon. The UK government is set to introduce coronavirus Plan B restrictions that will have a huge impact on all Premier League clubs and all their fans, including Chelsea, Arsenal and Tottenham. Last season saw fans forced to stay away from matches due to a ban on large crowds, barring a few troll matches towards the end of the campaign, but they have returned in their thousands now. However, the match-going experience is set to change as fears grow surrounding the more transmissible Omicron variant of COVID. Restrictions are likely to be implemented include an order to work from home where possible, as well as vaccine passports in England where when attending large events. In the Philippines, we have to show our that we're completely we have our double vax if we want to go to some establishments. These are in addition to the recent announcement that face masks must be worn when using public transport and shops. That's never stopped here. The new rules will mean the introduction of vaccine passports for events of attendance of over 10,000 people, meaning they will need to enter be needed to enter the Emirates, Stamford Bridge, and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Exemptions will be in place for those under the age of 17, as will those who are unable to get the vaccine for medical purposes. The government claimed that the move to implement vaccine passports at large events such as football games is a method of ensuring fans are not shut out again. In a post on gov.uk outlining Plan B back in September, they wrote, mandating vaccine-only certification could allow settings that have experienced long periods of closure to remain open, and is preferable to closing venues entirely or reimposing capacity caps or social distancing.
Okay. Guys, I think we've gone a bit off subject, right? It's no more on football.
That was from football.london.
Yes, and that was from football.london. Yeah. But I think we're coming. I think we'll end the show a bit early today, right? We can continue this chat in the back room later, right? I'll put you guys into the back room for a while. While me and Jamie do the closing and give a big shout out to the guys in chat, right? And like what Ian says, this discussion is not. We won't do it live, and it's for another show, another kind of show. Right?
It is directly impacting our club.
Yeah. Guys, I'll just go around and just tell us where we can find you, right? And Rez?
Every bloody where.
Rez is back.
You can find me. You can
watching Red Dwarf on some kind of stream.
Yeah, probably, absolutely. No, you can find me. You can find me on Shelfside Spurs Show, which is just wonderful and brilliant. And Jens deliberately lost the quiz yesterday just to lull everyone into a false sense of security and let me win. So we still need people to come and beat Jens because it doesn't count with me. was a fudge. Also obviously very kindly invited to join on Spurswasian. Josh has invited me to be on the Full Hotspur, so you'll see me with Kuva, I'm sure, shortly. And yeah, basically I'm the Spurs streaming family's resident media whore. So you'll find me. And if you want to, if you're foolish enough to want to follow me on Twitter, you can find my handle at @bat_spur.
Such words, Rez.
No, he taught me a new word today, a word that I'd heard but I'd never known how to use properly. Sanguine.
Oh, sanguine. Yeah.
I know how to spell it. I know how to say it. I didn't have a real sense of its true usage. Yes, I have been taught. I can use sanguine now with confidence that I'm using it correctly.
I'm glad to have been of service, Jamie.
And Ian, thanks for coming on again. Right,
my pleasure. Thank you. And how do we find me? Well, my Twitter handle's there at Shaggy1712. You follow me, I'll follow you back.
And you might find him knocking around Glasgow.
And you might find me knocking around Glasgow. Yeah, absolutely. I saw someone there saying they're going to move to Scotland. All right, there's a welcome in the hillside here, as we say. I originally did Bobby's show, Bobby Spur, before being invited onto this. I know that Brian Daggles asked me to be on his show, as is Tommy Talks Balls. So hopefully I'll be almost as big a media whore as Kez is. As Rez is rather. We'll see what happens.
I hear an echo.
I do enjoy doing these shows. I do like the people. I do like the discussion, and people seeing the comments. If people have enjoyed the show, then it makes it all worthwhile. So thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on again, Eugene.
Okay, you're welcome, Alice.
Ryan.
And Jamie.
And Kuva. How can we find you?
You'll find me on Tottenham Tantrum Gold. It's my full-time channel now with Dermot and Phil Lattis, where we're doing the memories from games gone by, highlights and full matches we'll be commenting on and reminiscing about, inviting guests on for that sort of thing. So that's my primary thing. I believe I'm going to be co-hosting with Jack Kanicki on Irish Hotspur tonight, doing Jack's Ask Me program.
Kanicki was from Greece.
Sorry? Kanicki from Greece, yeah. I don't watch those sort of movies, mate. That's girl stuff. No, other than that, I'm same as Rez and Ian. It's just like slagging it around all the channels as much as possible. I'm even doing some impromptu hosting on Tottenham. We Are Tottenham TV the other night when David went off air during the.
I remember. Yeah. Technical problems.
And I just sort of ad-libbed it. It was funny, but just dotted around the channels. There's a lot of little channels need a lot of support and help, and I like to try and big them up and get their faces known everywhere.
Sorry, guys, I'm just going to come in here. Latest has come from the Spurs Express, which is always pretty good for breaking Tottenham news. Conte says he has, quote, 11 players available, unquote, though to include a goalkeeper, Spurs must be close to being eligible to postpone tomorrow's game based on UEFA's criteria for 13 available players, including one goalkeeper from A-list. That's actually from Dan KP. So the story appears to be getting worse. Or to misquote, the story is desecrating as we speak.
Ian, I hate to be the harbinger of doom.
I hate to be the harbinger of doom either. I wanted us to play tomorrow, but unless if we can't put a team in,
Arthur, you are a Dark Lord of the Sith. It is your job to be the harbinger of doom.
So should we
move on
with an umbrella? Tamper with an umbrella and go and tap Golini in the back of the leg, cloak and dagger style.
And Kim, how can we find you? And you did your debut on Paxton yesterday. Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
show.
I've Paxton Road TV was my first love. I'll always be a Paxton Road girl. So yeah, you can find me on the comments section or on some of the videos there. Spurs Suasion TV, obviously. I'm part of the family now. I've been for this while. And the Mari's Love Lounge, which is just the most awesome thing ever.
We need to see more if we can wake him up.
Yeah, absolutely. So honestly, Spurs fans, if you got like a sense of humour at all, go watch the Love Lounge because it's brilliant. And a wider point is this Spurs YouTube community is amazing. It's quite amazing. You've got poor old Bobby tucked up with COVID at the moment, but he's got an amazing channel. Brian Daigle, we're saying all the usual suspects. Yeah, exactly. Tottenham on tour, Tottenham away.
Stell's the coach.
Brilliant. Yes, and still is a coach. I heard that rumor. I don't know how true it is.
Yeah. Where did I had no idea. Right?
Yeah,
and you just told me, and my mind has just gone with that news.
Actually, there are reports doing the rounds that there's been a lot of people impersonating coaches, and I'm not putting out any dodgy rumours here, but we should have a look at Stelios.
Well, no, I think it depends. It depends. You have to define coach. I think his nickname's National Express.
Wait, it's the golden boy.
I think with Stelios we should look at him like this.
Yeah. Stel will say, "Come and watch me coach one match." Yeah.
I'd love to do that. I would love to see Stells on the sideline. It won't be like get the ball. It'll be like, can I ask you a question? That ball.
Yes, and Arthur, how do we find you?
Stells.
You can find me on here when I'm guesting, or when I'm on Love Lounge with Maury. You can find me on Twitter and on Facebook.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
Yeah. And on the Death Star.
yes, and on the Death Star, right? And guys, thanks. Yep, go ahead, Arthur.
The Death Star contains all you guys, i.e., the Spurs community. And I should say the Spurs community Love Lounge.
I'm not sure. Does that mean we're just protected from being affected by Darth's dark arts?
Oh, absolutely.
No, that's Harry Potter.
We've gone down a very strange path here. If I was on a Death Star, by the way, I'd probably be that big worm thing in the trash compactor.
That's that.
Oh,
worm thing.
Yeah,
doesn't have a name, does it?
What's it?
Hold on,
that was Empire Strikes Back.
Gorgon. The worm is called
Gorgon. It's when the compactor started going and they had to put like a steel bar between the two walls.
That's the first one.
The Dianoga. That's what it is.
Dianoga, okay. The Dianoga. All right.
Can I just say there, Rez, that is top anorak and thermos.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Rez, your new nickname is Dwayne.
Danny Kiriakou.
Evening, Danny.
Danny Kiriakou.
Yeah. Good evening, Danny. Good evening.
About time you showed up, Danny.
Yeah.
He's been watching the show in the back.
Danny Kiriakou is one of the first pregnant men because he's always got a bun in the oven.
That's fighting talk.
Danny's gonna hop on soon.
He's really a samurai, in disguise.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah. Hope everyone's well. Yep, Danny, we're all well. Yeah, we're all well. Guys, thanks for your support and thanks for your time on the show. I'll just put you in the back room for a while I'll do the closing with Jamie, and we'll continue. Yeah, big up to everyone. Any last words to the guys out there?
Love you guys, all of you.
2 words.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Well said.
Well said. Get well, Bob, too. Yeah, get well, Bob. Quickly, Bob, we miss you.
We miss you.
Yeah, we really, really miss you. Right? So get well soon. Right? Guys, I'll put you in the back room. We'll chat in a while.
Cool.
Okay, since I never get asked, I might as well say anyway. You can find me on Spurswation TV. You can also find me on the unofficial Manila, Philippines Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Club on Facebook. And I love you all.
Twitter.
I want you all to have
a Twitter account.
My Twitter account. If you just type Jamie Stephen Pretty, you'll find me. So.
Okay. Yeah. And if you want to find me, right, you can find me here, Spurswation TV, right? Smash a like, hit a subscribe, or is it the other way around? Whatever.
Like, subscribe, and share the love, share the channel, share
and notification bell. Yeah. And while we're doing that, we'll just go through the chats, right? Get well Bob too by Danny. Danny, thanks for coming on, watching the show. Right, we have Danny. Big up to Danny. Big up to Google Mark Swift, Ricky, Jens,
Aaron, John
Fitzpatrick,
Chris Agambar,
yeah,
Derek Hutchinson.
Right, who else do we have?
Vibev somewhere.
Oh, Vibev, Vibev is having exams. Kim. Good luck. Yeah.
Scott M.
Scotty, yeah. Scotty, I think he's in school at the moment. Cody Mack, yeah, big up Cody Mack. Johnny,
Spurs, which is Johnny Einstein.
Bob Spur, yeah, Bobby, right, recover quickly.
Mr. Swift, one of our moderators.
Yeah. And Mark Swift, yes, our moderators. What else do we have? Kuguma. Right, I guess we said.
Mr. K. Oh, Mr. K even chirped in.
Yes, Mr. K. Yep. Mr. K, take care.
Do we have you, Mr. Okay, Leicester Till I Die TV. Okay.
That's Chris. Chris, yeah, I've been on one of the shows with him before.
Vibab's cool Universe, Rez, Mr. K. Oh, Mr. K was an early man, but he's elsewhere. Have we missed? No. And then there's you.
And me. You and me. Right. Guys, thanks for the support. Right. We've reached 212 subscribers
212, now?
Yeah.
Next target 300.
Right. Next target 300, right, Jamie? 300 is coming soon. 300 is coming soon.
Thanks in part to my lovely lady wife.
Yes, thank you to Grace. Right. And any last words, Jamie, before I cut you off like usual?
I would say let's treat this this COVID resurgence properly. Make sure that we aren't sacrificing players for profit. And if we can salvage the season, because it's surely going to affect more than just us, great. But I'd rather salvage the health of our players than the season.
Yeah. And of course, don't forget, Levy out.